Hey guys, welcome back. This is Nightwolf53 back here again with a new video. This is What If Deku Was Quirkless? Now, I said quirkless, so he won't have a quirk. These are powers somewhat. Well, actually no, more skills than powers. So where to start? Oh, yes, start the story. A long time ago, there were a team of villains, you could say. They were once heroes in a great war. A war, you might say. Well, it was a very cold war at the time. But their tech outdid any others of their time, even beating out some of the America's tech. But soon over time, they became elderly and started to really get into their age. Well, not really. They were in their late 30s, I must say. A good time. At that time, during the 1970s, the team was then split off. Both of the females, being the hacker and the assassin, went their ways from the Reaper and the doctor. Not the doctor, but the dealer. But these two still had a connection to their doctor, which she was just now in her 60s. As the assassin and the hacker became more frequent and even got names as the Maker and Sombra, the all-seeing eye, they knew that these two were connected in some way, always finding their next target easily and getting into stuff that no one else should. As they went along their daily lives, they fell in love with one another. Unable to create a child from each other, they enlisted the help of the Mad Doctor. Being at her time around her 70s now and the women in their 40s, they finally were able to give about a gallon of blood to the doctor in a matter of days. Each one of them then giving a singular egg to the doctor to combine to create their child. As the doctor was in her process of creating this child, something did happen. The mothers died. As they were on another assassination, something terrible went wrong. A misclick of a button, at least. And then both of them were killed in action. The hacker was killed at her seat, and the assassin was killed by a missile. Due to them actually outgunning and outsmarting the local governments of this era, they were then taken out by the quantities they had and the firepower they unleashed on their next guess of their next target, which was correct. A lucky guess, I do say. As the Mad Doctor still created the child, now having an infant in his chamber, and something new came arise. As she knows she's now been discovered, she opened up a pod in her workshop. In this pod, left a child in there. Just a very young baby, it seemed. As she put it in there, it froze. Still keeping it alive, but it froze. As in the doctor was raided, as the child was now safely away from them. Years have passed, and a new generation has come and gone. As now we hit the generation of quirks, 9 generations in. This generation was very popular. as we go to a woman of character. She, like all the rest of her colleagues, was a pretty normal human in this case, but she could not conceive her own son or daughter, her own child, with her husband, due to an accident so many years ago that then infected her. Due to this, she walked around stumbling in the forest so many years ago and abandoned until she fell through a hole that has been wide open. As she went in, she stumbled upon some old tech from a Cold War era that has passed such long ago that it seemed like forever. As she looked through this abandoned building, this abandoned bunker or science lab in case, she stumbled upon a couple wires that have now been pulled out on accident. Then out came a pod in the middle of the room as she jumped from where she was and looked at the thing in the middle of the room. What is that? As the thing came out and it inside it showed a baby boy. Then a computer came on. Freezing unlock. As then the chamber opened, revealing this child. This child to the world that it was now never supposed to be in. And now is in. As its skin was not normal. It had a purplish skin to him, a light purple, almost like his mother's. But what he also had was a quite intellect into cracking into things. As his mother then took this child and brought it to her husband, which was excited on having an adopted child. But a little purple meant there was a quirk or something. Well, somewhat. After 4 years of the child now being out of its chamber, and now being called Izuku Midoriya. As Izuku roamed the earth, now with Inko Midoriya and Hasashi, Hasashi was then had to leave for a job in America. As then it was just Inko and Izuku. At the age of 4, he then went to the quirk doctor. Mom, let's go to the quirk doctor. I think I might have a quirk or something. Okay, sweetie, let's go. As he got into the car and kind of went off. Now, the reason I'm making him just a little bit like Izuku, but he won't be, trust me. He's only like this because he's young. And heroes exist, so yeah. As they get to the quirk doctor, they find out that... Or, no, let's get to the quirk doctor. But yes, as they get to the quirk doctor, Mitsuki and Bakugo is now known to have a explosion quirk for Bakugo. As then the Midoriyas are called in. You must be Inko and Izuku Midoriya, right? That's weird, Skin. It seems you must have a quirk, boy. Yeah, I hope I do. If not, then I don't know what the skin is. Okay, let's see. I will take a blood sample from your mother first, and then you. Okay. From Inko. From Inko's blood and Izuku's blood, they were both put into a machine. Inko Midoriya. Quirk telekinesis. Alright. Now Izuku Midoriya. This is odd. Is everything okay, Doctor? Doctor, is everything okay? Yes. It's just that, well, you are his biological mother, right? No, I'm not. Okay, well, you are Azuku Midoriya, correct? Yes, well, you don't exist technically, but from what I've gathered from your DNA, you do not have a quirk. I don't have a quirk? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold it there, Azuku. Midoriya. It's not that you don't have one, it's just that you are not able to possess one. What do you mean by that? Well, from what I'm getting from the lab results, you're much. You are probably the oldest person in this hospital. What do you mean by that? Well, if we're going off of your biological parents, then you are a lot older than you may think. What do you mean by that? Well, Inka Midoriya, correct? Yes. So where did you find Izuku? Well, I fell into this lab, and after tripping over some wires, a pod came out, and I took him from that lab. So it must be from them then. Alright. Well, about 500 or 600 years ago, a mad scientist was arrested for doing illegal experiments. And the experiments were not good. But she also had two people she worked with. One of them an assassin and one of them the hacker. These two people fell in love. Are you with me so far? Yes, sir? Well, after knowing they could not conceive a child, they asked that mad doctor friend of theirs if she can make them a child. And this is her product. Now, 500 years later, he is still alive after being concealed in that chamber. So, Izuku, right? Yes? So, you are 500 years old. You are during more older humans. You are not in the century that we are. If, to put it lightly, you having a quirk would be it would be 0% chance. Because it simply just isn't in your DNA. You have no chance of getting a quirk. Now, and we don't even know what a quirk would do to you, doing you don't have our structural DNA now. You could be carrying some of the more dangerous diseases from your time with you. But it seems like diseases of now don't even affect you. It's almost like your parents had their own power. I don't know what you're meaning. Well, let's just say that you're what people would call quirkless now. But for people then would be called normal. So, in forsake, you were born on, I'm gonna say, August 18th, 1971. Okay. And what year is it now? Well, that seems like a long time, actually. So 500 or 600 years, so it'd be... Give me a sec. But yes. So, I was born in 1971, and it's the year of 2521. I guess that isn't bad, but is there anything that I can do to get a quirk? In scientific research, no. But If I'm guessing from what your mother and your biological parents were, then having a job and great skills actually isn't out of your league. What do you mean by that? Well, your mother, actual mother, was an assassin, and your other mother was a hacker. So if they combine their two traits, then you should be their perfect product of an offspring. So what does that mean? Well, you should be good at weapons and good at breaking in and out of locks. So I'm hoping to not see you again soon, unless something else happens. Goodbye, Midorius. Goodbye, sir. On their way home, Izuku and his mom were talking about heroes and stuff like that. So instead of him going into the hero business, he would start to learn more about his actual parents. What he's now found out is that the assassin that was his mother was Widowmaker, and his mother's real name on the other side was Sombra, a hacker. After learning about what technology they looked like they had, he decided to ask his mother. Time skip maybe 10 years later, whenever he's like 14. After 10 years of research and all that, and he has now taken multiple classes in technology and hacking, game and graphics and stuff, well, mostly hacking computers and stuff like that. He has also learned how to fire weapons very accurately, and he has also taken some martial art classes, or more escape classes. As after all of that, he has now become a very, well, phasing boy. People keep on calling him useless and quirkless, even though he's actually never meant to actually have a quirk. After that, he goes on to ask his mother where he was, well, picked up from. And Inko tells him, "Go out to this place in the forest," as she hands him a map. "This is where I found that lab. Just please be careful." "Okay, Mom." As he goes into the forest and finds that old lab, he checks around. Guess I can hack into computers if I need to. After hacking in, he's now allowed access to many other things, as the entire thing turns on. Ah, welcome. Oh, I really need to make a name. Yes, as the computer turns on and welcomes the young master back. Ah, welcome back, Arthur Maker. Arthur Maker? What's that? His middle name is Arthur, because that actually sounds like a pretty good name. And his last name is like Widowmaker, just Maker. He is Yes. His name is Sam Arthur Maker, which is very hard to say. But yes, as he now checks around in the computing, he is now located to a spinal test, where it inserts a computer-like spine into you. As this was his mother's room. As the computer does ask, "Do you wish to go through the operation of computer spinally?" As he clicks yes, the computer then lowers arms to grab him. He's then put on a table, and then a giant metal or a slick metal spine is put onto his back. As other tools start coming down and start touching it. As they knock him out for a little while, as many things happen to him during this time. His flesh opened up and wires are put in. Sensory wires that go into his kind of tips of his finger. Not his fingernails, but his finger. To make it more like that. Even if cut, it will regen. So, after a little while, when he finally wakes up, he feels different. as he looks in a mirror and the spine is in his back. It glows a darkish purple as he sees that tries to figure out how to use it. So he tries to think of what the computer is as he puts it like how a computer would be and clicks something as an entire screen pulls up in front of him. Whoa. So this is what the computer spine is. As he's clicking through, looking up more stuff, all that, he finally shuts it off and try to look and think of his own thing. As he then goes off to check his other mother's room. What he finds in there is a poison mine trap. No, not a poison mine. His mother's tactical visor and his mother's weapon. As well in his other in Sombra's room, or his other mother's room, he finds an SMG to take with him. As he leaves with these items, he thinks, if I can't be a hero, then I'll just be like my mother's, the greatest assassin to come back from the dead. I hope to make him proud, but I can't tell my mom about this. Well, I hope to make y'all proud. As he runs off into the woods, running back home. And that's kind of where I just want to end it. Just a kind of good note on how everything is. So this is kind of how it's going to go, but I don't know how I'm going to do the rest of it. So I'll just keep on making up stuff. Also, I do need a ship for the Tundra What If and for this one. I can't do the Azalian one because I'm too tired and it's about 10 o'clock. About it be 11. And I have school tomorrow. And then Renaissance. But yeah, like, subscribe if you want to, and hit that dislike button if you didn't like it, and I guess bye.